The golf landscape in the Detroit area is crowded. There are classic designs like Donald Ross's Oakland Hills and Franklin Hills, and Charles Allison's Orchard Lake. This left Meadowbrook Country Club, originally designed by Willie Park, searching for an identity when it hired Andy Staples in 2015.
All right, as a third party, what's going to make this golf course stand out? We did that in two ways. One is to leverage this property. It's a beautiful property, very natural for golf, and they have a great history. And Willie Park Jr. was the original architect, and they wanted to acknowledge and celebrate that history, and they gave me that opportunity to do that.
Tell us about the Willie Park influence on the renovation.
We were pretty heavily influenced by some of the Willie Park Jr. courses we saw overseas. He was doing some things that we'd had never seen before, i.e., the fourth green at Honeycomb. I always go back to that one. And so that was the start to saying, this wasn't just taking a plane and tilting it at 3% from back to front. This was, let's talk about angles, let's talk about different slopes, and do some things that maybe in traditional architecture now are off limits. That was one big influence. The other influence is this club actually prided itself on the steep greens. They challenged me to say, these greens better be interesting, and the people better talk about these greens. So we spent more time thinking about slopes and contours. We pushed the limit on pin placements. And so we spent a lot of time thinking about how people that come to play Meadowbrook will think and talk and discuss the greens.
If you could have one of them in your backyard, which one would it be and why?
There is no doubt that I would choose the third green. That's our homage to the fourth green at Honeycomb. I mean, everyone asks me what my favorite hole is, and I have to go to 3 because I actually was able to build a green that probably breaks every single rule, traditional rule in golf architecture. You can putt it from all different angles. It's a little bit of a punch bowl. It's a little bit of a hog's back in the middle of the green, surrounded by fescue and a real natural native look. It almost makes you feel like you're in the heathland of England.
What's your favorite part of the property from a topography standpoint?
Yeah, the neatest, really most natural spot is on the 5th hole as you kind of crest, as you tee the ball up over this crest of hill and you come back down. It is as natural as it comes, and it's reminiscent of some of the best ground in the entire country. And that was one of my first trips to the property. It was covered in trees when we got here. And I knew if I was chosen, I would be right to this point. This 5th hole would generally stay about the same routing, and we're going to expose it and make it part of the golf course. And I think, most people here in the club had no idea that was even there.
Today, Meadowbrook's identity is clear. Its striking natural landforms and the distinct slopes of the greens give the course variety day to day. Among the many historic clubs in the Detroit area, Meadowbrook now stands out as bold, challenging, and fun.